Hello everyone, welcome back to DevOps tutorial. Let's start with a simple question. How do a real DevOps teams actually deploy application to production? Not just pushing code, but doing it safely, smoothly, and without breaking things. In this video, I will walk you through the complete journey from writing code to running it on Kubernetes and even how team handles the failures using rollback. We will keep everything simple and practical, so whether you are a system administrator or a developer, you will clearly understand how things works in real environments. So let's get started. Now tell me honestly, how many times have you seen this? It works on my machine but fails in production. This is one of the most common problems in real world deployments. In deployments, everything looks perfect. The apps run fine, no error, everything is working. But when same application goes to production, suddenly it starts failing. You might see errors like this: crash loopback off, configuration missing, or service not connecting. So what's actually going wrong here? The problem is not just the code. The problem is the gap between development and production environments. And in this video, we are going to understand how real DevOps team solves this problem step by step. Alright, so why do deployment actually fails? It's not always because of bad code. Most of the time, the problem is in the process. First, there is no proper pipeline. Scripts are scattered. Different people run things in a different way, and what works on one machine may not work on another. Second, manual deployments. Someone is running commands one by one, and even a small mistake can break everything. And yes, we have all seen scary commands like this rm-rf command. One wrong command and things can go very wrong. Third, no rollback plan. If something breaks, there is no easy way to go back. Fixing the issue takes time and users are already impacted. And finally, poor visibility. We don't know what's running where, no proper logs, no monitoring. We only find issue when user complain. So all these problems together make deployment risky and stressful. Now let's see how DevOps teams actually fix this. Now let's talk about what proper DevOps deployment really looks like. First, everything starts with an automated pipeline. Once a developer push code, the process should run on its own, no manual step in between. Next, testing is must. Before anything goes live, it should pass all checks: unit test, integration test, and basic security checks. Then comes version control. Your code, your configuration, even your infrastructure, everything should be tracked and stored properly. After that, we need an easy way to roll back. If something goes wrong, you should be able to quickly go back to the last working version. On the right side, you can see how this flows in a real life. It starts with a code commit, then pipeline run test, builds the artifacts, and finally push it to a production. And this whole process should happen smoothly without downtime. One important thing to remember: deployment is not just pushing code, it's a controlled and reliable release process. Now let's look at the full DevOps flow from start to end. Don't worry, it may look big, but it actually very simple when we break it down. We start with the developer. They write code and push it to a Git. As soon as the code is pushed, the CI pipeline starts. These steps validate the code and prepare it for build. If everything looks good, we move to building the image. This is where the application is packed into a container. Next, that image is pushed to a registry, so it's stored and ready to use later. Now comes to a deployment part. Kubernetes takes that image and deploys it. This is where your application actually starts running. After that, we monitor the application, we keep an eye on performance and error, and if something goes wrong, we have a rollback, so we can quickly go back to the latest working version. And that's it, a complete flow from writing code to running it in a production. So in the next part, we will break this down step by step so it's even easier to understand. Alright, now let's look at the code to build phase. This is where your code start moving from your laptop into a pipeline. First, developer and Git. You write the code, push it to a branch and create a pull request, simple and standard workflow. Next, in the middle, CI pipeline kicks in automatically. As soon as you push the code, a webhook triggers the pipeline. Then it checks your code for basic issues like formatting problems, small mistake or a bad practice. It also scans dependency to catch any known issue earlier. Finally, on the right, test and build. Here, unit and integration tests are executed. If everything looks good, it builds the Docker image and creates the final artifacts. So overall, this phase makes sure your code is tested, checked and ready before moving forward. Now let's move to the image and registry phase. This is where your application is packed and stored so it can be used later for a deployment. First, on the left, Docker build. Here we build the Docker image using Docker file. We also try to keep the image small by organizing layer properly and using multi-stage build. Next, in the middle, tag the image. Once the image is ready, we give it a proper version name. This helps us to track changes easily. We also make sure tags don't change and avoid using latest in a production. And finally, on the right, push to a registry. The image is pushed to a container registry. Access is secured and the image is scanned for issues. Once that's done, it's ready to pull by Kubernetes for deployment. So in this phase, we build, tag and store the image safely so it's ready for the next step. Now this is where things get really interesting. Once your application is ready, the next step is deploying it to a Kubernetes. But here is the important part. How you deploy matters a lot. Let's look at three common strategies. First, rolling update. This is the default one. Here, Kubernetes updates your application step by step, replacing old pods with the new ones, so user don't see any downtime. But if something goes wrong, rollback is not instant. Second, blue-green deployment. In this approach, you have two environments. One is live and the other has the new version. Once everything looks good, you simply switch traffic to a new version. This is very safe and rollback is fast. Third, canary deployment. Here you release the new version to a smaller number of users first. You monitor everything and if it looks good, you slowly increase the traffic. This helps you catch issue earlier before affecting all users. So depending on your use case and how much risk you can take, you choose the right strategy. Alright, now the deployment is done, but we are not finished yet. This is the monitoring and validation step. After releasing a new version, we need to make sure everything is actually working fine in production. First, we check system health. All pods should be running. Like you see here, 8 out of 8. CPU and memory usage should look normal, not sudden high. Also, health checks like liveness probe should pass. That tells us the application is alive and responding. Next, we look at key metrics. Latency, how fast the app is responding. Here it's 42 milliseconds, which is good. Error rate is also very important. If error starts increasing, that's a warning sign. We also check logs in real time. Log help us confirming things like, is the app starting correctly? Is it connecting to the database? Is it handling request without issue? All of this together gives us confidence that the deployment is successful, and once everything looks good, we can say release validated. Now we are ready for the next step, like notifying the team or stakeholders. Alright, now let's talk about what's happening when something goes wrong. This is where the rollback mechanism comes in. Let's say you deployed a new version 1.0.2, and suddenly things breaks. Maybe error increased or pod starts crashing. Instead of trying to fix it live, the fastest and safest option is to go back to the last working version. In this case, that's version 1.0.1, which is already stable. The process is called rollback. Now, how do we actually do this? First, we detect the issue, usually through alerts, error spikes, or failed pods. Next, we run a simple command to go back to a previous version. For example, Helm rollback my app followed by version. And once things are stable again, we take time to check logs and understand what went wrong. One important rule to remember here is rollback should always be faster than deployment, because in production, every second matters. The faster you recover, the less impact on user. Now let's look at some production best practice. These are simple rules that help avoid issues in a real environments. First, never use the latest tag. Always use a fixed, immutable version. Remember, latest is not a version. It's just a pointer that can change unexpectedly. Using a specific tag makes your deployment consistent and easy to track. Next, proper versioning. Follow a clear version format like major, minor, and patch. Also make sure git tag match your image version. Third, health check. Use readiness check to send traffic only when the application is ready, and liveness check to restart it if something goes wrong. Fourth, monitor before scaling. Don't scale blindly. Use real CPU and memory data to decide when to scale your applications. And finally, keep rollback ready. Always make sure you can quickly go back to a previous version. Test your rollback steps regularly so there are no surprises. So these simple practices help you run your application smoothly in production. Alright, so what actually happens in real production? First, the code is built automatically. The process runs automatically without manual efforts. Then it gets deployed safely. We don't just push changes randomly. It's done in a controlled way. After that, we keep an eye on the system after release. We keep watching the system so we can catch problems earlier. And if something goes wrong, we roll it back, simple and quick. So the key thing to remember is this: deployment is not just one step, it's a full process. And strong systems don't depend on luck, they depend on automation and visibility. Now if you want to learn more, you can check out blue-green deployment and canary deployment next. And if this helped you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe the channel for more simple DevOps content. I will see you in the next one.